What's up, YouTube? It's PJ, and after a couple weeks off, that was not intended. We are back for Fireside Friday, and I am ready and willing to answer questions. So if you're on YouTube, log in with your Google account, and you should be able to um, comment in the comment box. If not, follow me on Twitter at CrouchPJ_PJ. It's my name backwards. For some reason, it did that weird, but it was close enough to where I didn't feel like changing it. Or you can follow me on Instagram at pjcrouch.88, or we got Facebook, my personal Facebook page. For any of you guys who have that, just shoot me a message there. And if you do not have my personal Facebook page, hop on the Facebook page PJ Crouch YouTube and message me there. Um, and go ahead and like the page while you're there, because I also share my videos there. So and I also share them on Twitter, but my phone is in my lap, um, right here, um, beside me. So I am ready and willing for questions. And if you hear noise in the background, it's just me watching Paralympic coverage that I recorded from last night. I gotta support my fellow uh, disabled athletes. Um, so yeah, but if it's causing too much feedback, let me know and I'll turn it down some more. So, what's new? Let's put this on Instagram. Maybe. What's up, Instagram? It's PJ, and we are live on PJ Crouch YouTube for the return of Fireside Friday. So if you have any questions or just want to come hang out, hop on there and we'll get this party going. All right, we have notified for across all platforms. So whoever wants to hop on here and ask questions, make comments, goof off, whatever, now is your time to do it. Um, So, um, and for anybody who's new to the channel, I guess I can go through that. I haven't been through that in a while. My name is PJ. I'm 22 years old. I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And what you don't see, because I'm in my recliner right now, just chilling out, is I'm in a wheelchair. I was born on Star Wars Day. So, for all my Star Wars fans, there's a little bit of tidbit for you. Um, I was born on Star Wars Day in 1995, so I'm coming up pretty fast on my 23rd birthday in about mm, 7 weeks. Yeah, 7, 8 weeks. So I have what's known as cerebral palsy. So that is a disability that affects the brain. It can be caused by strokes or by accidents that cause you to uh, stop breathing or have oxygen deprivation to the brain. In my case, I was born 6 weeks early and my lungs were not fully formed. But they did not know that at the time. Well, they knew it pretty quickly, but they did not know it when I was first born. I think my mom said it took them about 10, 15 minutes to figure out exactly why I wasn't breathing. And by the time they uh, did that and figured it out, there was just enough brain damage to cause uh, CP to set in or happen or whatever you want to classify it as. But it's here, it's me, and some days I'm not this upbeat. Some days I have to force myself out of bed. Um, but I most of the time decide to be a fighter. And so part of that fight is to help others. I serve as a disability ministries intern for a local nonprofit that goes in and helps families who are affected by disability, whether it's a son or a daughter or a wife or a husband. It doesn't matter. We predominantly help families with kids who are affected as the primary person being affected, but we have helped adults as well. So I've been doing that for almost, I'm in my fifth year. So no, I'm going into my 5th year. Yeah, no, yeah, um, because I started my senior year. So yeah, it's been about 4 years because I'm in my third year of college. So and then I also am a Johnny and Friends volunteer, which if any of you uh don't know who Johnny Erickson Tata is, um, offhand. She is the artist who paints with her mouth. She's a quadriplegic. Um, she's actually celebrating her 50th year in a chair um, this year. So, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting her in 2002. and when my family attended one of her ministry's family retreats. So since that week, I knew that I wanted to work in disability ministry. So, on top of my local ministry responsibilities that I help with, uh, I volunteer with the Knoxville, Tennessee office. Go lay down. Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. Go lay down now. Go get in your bed. Okay. Go get in your bed. So I've been doing that for about, this will be my fourth summer attending a family retreat as a volunteer. I volunteered with the Knoxville and Charlotte office last summer as a ministry intern for them, and I made videos about those, and they are actually in a playlist entitled My JF Internship. So, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, I would highly recommend that you go watch and hit the thumbs up button on those videos. Lay down. Hey, lay down. So, on top of that, I'm a college student. I'm in my junior year of uh, trying to obtain my bachelor's of science in ministry leadership um, through Moody Bible Institute in Chicago and their distance learning program. So I'm actually, the way distance learning works is each class you take, or each, uh, not each class, but each uh, class block that you take, instead of being a full 16 weeks where you're taking or 26 weeks, depending on what it is, you're in a smaller class size, and you're in a shorter class period. My class periods are 8 weeks long. So I just rolled off uh, spring break, if you want to call it that. My spring break was the last, no, first week of March, and this week starts my um, first week of classes in the final 8 weeks of the semester. So this set of classes will run me up to the end of the year. And distance learning degrees are 5 years. Um, 5 years in total. So even though I'm a junior, I am no closer to being done uh, year wise. So I still have 2 more years. Um, I posted a picture on Facebook yesterday that said, and the caption was, I had to get a headshot, which is a picture of your head, or at least your upper body, hence the name headshot. Any theater people will understand that. But I had to get a headshot for something, which I'll talk about in a second. But somebody asked me if that was a graduation photo, and I unfortunately had to tell them no. It wasn't, because I am still 2 years away from uh, getting to that goal. So, but that's okay. So, why am I saying a bunch? So, there I go again. What do I like to do besides work and school? Um, Obviously, I like watching sports, and I like competing in sports. Um, One of the things that I learned very early on um, was just because you have a disability does not mean you can't play sports. Hence the Paralympics being on in the background. I played competitive wheelchair basketball for 2 years, back in 2005 and 2006. Um, I was. I'm also a military brat, so my dad is retired U.S. Navy. Um, so if you're new to the channel and all of a sudden you hear me talking a certain way, that might be why. We're talking about moving a bunch. That's why, because I moved about 6 times in my life so far. Um, so I played wheelchair basketball back in 2005 and 2006. Um, and while my dad was in Japan, my mom and my sister and I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, so about 2 hours away from Chattanooga, where we're living now. And I got to play with a place called Lakeshore Foundation, which is a accredited Olympic and Paralympic training center. So I got to constantly be around athletes that were representing their country and or countries, because not only do U.S. athletes go there to train, but international athletes also show up from time to time. So it was really cool to be around them and see their drive uh, and their propensity not to quit. So when I want to quit, I just think about those guys and my friends that I made that would literally uh, rake me over the coals if I wanted to quit. Um, but even before that, I played sled hockey, which is a winter Paralympic sport. Um, when we lived up in Chicago, because I also lived in Chicago for 8 years. So, and I've also done track and field. I'm a 200-meter wheelchair track national champion from back in 2008 for the um, 10. Uh, I don't remember what my age group was, but I'm a F33 national champ, and that was my classification. So regardless of what happens, nobody can ever take that away from me. But on top of the gold medal, I also I qualified in 9 events that year. My first and only year of competitive track and field, um, and I medaled in 9 events. So I got 1 gold, 6 silvers, and 2 bronze. Um, but and after that, I did. Um, it didn't get. It got a little more difficult to travel back and forth to Birmingham from Mississippi, where we were living at the time, for me to train. So I went on and did independent uh, road races with my dad. Um, and I did those for about 3 years. And 1 year I was an amateur 5K champ for the state of Mississippi. Um, but after my parents got divorced when I was 16, my dad was my coach, and to be honest, he sucked the fun out of it because not that as a coach you're not supposed to push um, your athletes hard, because trust me, I, I want a coach that'll push me hard, but due to some other personal stuff that I'm not gonna get uh, too far into here, because we'd be here for 3 days. Um, he just kind of sucked the fun out of it because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like his standard was way up here, and I was just up here or down here, which was good enough, but it wasn't the greatest. So after they got divorced, I had nobody to train with, or I had people who would run with me and train with me, but uh, they didn't have the time um, to help me pour into what I needed to pour into, and I just didn't feel the drive for it, so I walked away. Fast forward to now, and about 6 months ago, I decided that I wanted. I I I I'd been out of sports too long and I missed it. So I've been praying and thinking about making another run for my dream, which is to do exactly what I'm watching. Um, Watching athletes push themselves and represent their country and maybe bring home um, medals for their country. So I decided about a month ago that I was gonna start preparing myself to maybe one day make a run at the national team for the Paralympics. So, um, the key word in there is try, because any athlete knows uh, you may not get there, you may not ever even sniff the same air that these guys are um, that these guys are um, even breathing, but it's worth trying. So I decided to start training and investigate other ways that I could get equipment, because I obviously don't have equipment to compete right now. So fast forward to last week, and I filled out an application for an athlete development program. Or, no, it was actually 2 weeks ago. So I filled out an athlete development program application for the U.S. Paralympic Gateway to Gold program. So, and I got an email Tuesday night telling me that my application was under review. So I have no idea what that means or what it's gonna mean, other than the fact that they're looking at it. So it's a step in the right direction. I'm working out at least every other day, really, not really hard yet because I'm working on all that fine tuning stuff and getting my body used to working out every day again, but it's getting closer to every day. Um, so, and my YouTube channel is another way that I can motivate myself because I can set my computer down on the floor or wherever I am because I don't have a portable camera to shoot videos on. Um, and I can record myself doing push ups or lifting weights and then post it. And you guys, as subscribers or potential subscribers, can see it. So that will motivate me because I want to put out a good effort for you guys and for myself. So this channel is all about helping people affected by disability, whether you have the disability or if you know somebody who has a disability and you want to know how to better connect with them, and you don't even have to have any of those things. If you just want to watch, you can watch. So, shoot me questions and videos, or like I said earlier, on Twitter, Instagram, or the channel Facebook page. Um, so, but yeah, so every, well, I try to do it every Friday. It doesn't always work that way due to life and other stuff, but every Friday I try to do a live stream where you guys can ask me questions and get real time answers. Uh, so, yeah. Um, what else? What else? What else? There will be new videos coming out soon. And if you have sorry about that, guys. Uh, all the pollen and all that stuff around here has started to bloom and fall, and there just happens to be a humongous dogwood tree outside my window, and it was white a couple days ago. This morning when I looked out there, it was a lovely shade of yellow, which means the pollen is starting to do its thing and fall. And when that happens, uh, I start coughing and sneezing. So nothing really huge, but I start sputtering like a motorboat. So that's why I sound a little off. For any of you who have watched my videos or know me in person, that is why. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, new videos coming soon, and if you ever have video ideas or requests about something disability related or non-disability related that you want me to cover, and just get my perspective on, you can you can hit me up on the YouTube discussion board that is attached to the channel, or comment on another video, or send me messages through those areas and just say you found me through the other areas that I mentioned. So I haven't gotten good enough to put my links or any clip art in my videos. Um, but I am trying to work on that. So until then, you're just going to have to. We're just gonna have to wing it together, and I hope that's cool. Um, oh yeah, what was the headshot for yesterday? That I mentioned. And for any of my friends on Facebook who saw that, or Twitter, or Instagram who saw that and want to know why, um, here's where you're going to find out. So, I mentioned a little earlier in the video, for those of you who may be new, um, that I volunteer for the Johnny and Friends office in Knoxville, which is about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes away from my house. So, last summer I stayed up there for a week, um, which is the first time I worked with the office. Um, I was basically a regional intern, because both the Charlotte and Knoxville offices cover a lot of the same region. Uh, so, but since I'm closer to Knoxville, I've stayed more in touch professionally with the Knoxville office. And they have a conference coming up in April that I am actually going to go speak at. So, and help out with. So, um, as speakers, we had to send in pictures and bios and uh, all that fun stuff. Ooh, sorry, little off topic, but I hadn't really got a good look at my arms the last couple of days or last couple of weeks since I started lifting again, and they're really starting to show some gains. So, sorry, I know I'm being really random, but that's kind of what live streams are for. So, but anyway, back to the conference. So, um, the conference is in April, so it's actually in like 4 weeks. Yeah, something like that. So I'm gonna go up. The ministry I work for here at home is actually going, and I'm gonna ride up with them, and help them when I can. But I already told my boss, because actually, my boss for Knoxville, the person who pretty much spearheads my volunteering, had asked me if my boss here would like to speak or put out a exhibit about what we do here. So I've kind of been the go-between for them. So I already told my boss, hey, I'll help you when I can, and I'll be around as a Johnny and Friends volunteer, but I'm there as a Johnny and Friends volunteer that weekend. She said, okay, that's great. We'll use you when we can, if we can, and that's fine, but you can ride up with us. Um, so that's coming up soon, and I'm gonna be one of the speakers. So I will get my picture on a page with Emily Coulson, and several other people. Um, for anybody who is in the disability world, uh, Emily Coulson is a big champion of the Buddy program, and so I've actually met her because her and my boss here at, known each other for several years. Um, so I met her almost 3 years ago. So at another conference that we were attending as attendees. So it's gonna be fun to reconnect with my Knoxville family because, uh, like I say in my internship reflection video playlist, um, if you spend any amount of time with these offices or with any of the staff or families that they serve, you become part of the family and they become of their family and they become part of yours. So um I'm going to speak for them in April and help with some other conference stuff. It's a 2 day conference the weekend after Easter, so April 6th and 7th I will be in Knoxville. So still working out some of those details. So, but if any of my Knoxville friends end up watching this and want to get together, I'll be there that Friday and Saturday ish. So, and if you're at the conference, I'll see you anyway. Um, because I'm gonna be speaking on the same topic that I will be helping train on for family retreat in July. So that is something else I need to cover right quick for anybody who's new. Uh, this live stream has basically become an informational thing for anybody who's new. So if you end up watching this and you're a subscriber or you know the bits and pieces of my story that I'm covering already, I'm sorry. You just get to hear them again. Uh, and I'm sorry, that probably sounded a little snobbish. I didn't mean it to sound snobbish at all. Yeah. So, as part of my internship duties for Johnny and Friends last summer, I helped train the volunteers that come in for family retreats every year because they get paired with somebody affected uh, like me, who's affected uh, with a disability or affected by. So, if there are siblings in the family, if the primary person is affected, uh, who has the disability is a kid, um, they will pair you and your sibling up, but they will also pair an adult with a disability up with a volunteer. So whoever their primary care person is, whether it be a spouse or a older child, can get um, a break and just recharge their batteries and refocus on what God has called them and wants them to do. So part of my job was to train them on uh, wheelchair safety and etiquette, or at least part of it. So what that means, sorry, I gotta blow my nose real quick. And this is gonna, okay. Sorry if I ghost anybody out. but allergies are the way they go. And but I wanted to battle through and for you guys and do a live stream. But so anyway, what I did for safety and etiquette was I ran them through some safety things that they would need to know about wheelchairs, like how the wheels come off, how to put on the brakes, how to help their camper if they couldn't help themselves. Because sometimes you're gonna get a camper who's more independent, like I am, who can push themselves, who can ask for things, even if we're stubborn and sometimes don't. We can. But sometimes you're gonna get somebody who's nonverbal or so impaired by their disability that they're not gonna be able to push themselves. So you're gonna have to push them. So I ran them through those scenarios. Um, I'm getting, am I getting an Instagram message? Oh, Winter Jam's live. Okay, so that's not for me. So, I ran them through safety stuff, and for those who are more independent, and more involved in like social stuff and social etiquette things, like I am, I ran them through how do we talk to this person and stuff like that. So they asked me to speak on that in April, and I'm also going to be running that training again in July when the Knoxville office has family retreat. So a bunch of my Knoxville family knows that I'm not going as the official intern, but I'm kind of there as an unofficial intern. So you're not getting rid of having to listen to me that easily. But I'm excited to hang out with you guys. Some of you guys I know in April, and a majority of you I definitely know are coming back to camp in July because we've talked since I found out I was coming back uh, and not going gallivanting across the country working for Johnny and Friends again this summer. But I told my mom that I will probably be more busy this summer being home than I was last summer being gone. Uh, because when I found when my church found out I was going to be home the entire summer minus that 1 week or day trip here and there to go help get ready for camp, they're like, can we use you um, for stuff at church? And of course, I said yes. So I'm definitely working VBS, like I've done the past 2 years. So VBS was actually my warm up to leaving um, for my internship because VBS fell like a week and a half before I was supposed to leave. So I got to serve with my church family and my church friends um, for a week and tell them goodbye and tell them what I'd be doing before I went off for 5.5 weeks to serve both in Knoxville and in Charlotte. So Knoxville wasn't as big of a stretch because I am so close to home when I'm in Knoxville. Charlotte was a big step for me because even though I have family in North Carolina, because my grandparents and my uncle and my aunt and my cousins are there, um, that's the first time my mom had limited contact with me other than a couple days here and there, or when I'd go to family retreat with the Mississippi office, uh, and that was again 1 week a year. But she knew what I was doing when I was doing it. When I was gone for 5 weeks, she didn't. And typical 22-year-old me, um, I didn't call as much as I should have, and she got mad. So she's really happy that I'm gonna be around more this summer, and she has more of an idea of what I'm gonna be doing when I'm gonna be doing it. So, because even though I want to be out of the house, I'm not out of the house yet. So, um, yeah. So, like always, any questions, comments, concerns, all that jazz, all YouTube creators say, as they're about to wrap up a video. I've said it, leave stuff in the comments below. So, and like, subscribe to the page or the channel page. There's several pages in a YouTube channel. So, and like I say, and then, like I've started saying at the end of my videos, um, disability never sleeps. So until the job gets done, neither will I, and I will see you guys next time.